figured out. I was thinking how to overcome that situation, and then it was totally out of my comfort zone. And I figured out that if I look up in the sky, the fear is getting less. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to BWB Brunch with Books. In today's episode, we are exploring Ernest Hemingway's classic, The Old Man and the Sea, and connecting it to life lessons from Oliver Brookman's 4,000 Weeks. We will see how Santiago's lonely battle in the sea reflects the way we struggle with time, pressure, and our own limits in life. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome, Dr. Geeta. Over to you to continue with the story of Old Man and the Sea.
Hi everyone. Ernest Hemingway's timeless masterpiece, The Old Man and the Sea, is a captivating story of a Cuban fisherman, Santiago, haunted by bad luck for 84 days and desperate to catch a great fish. So he accepts that he can't control the sea or his bad luck, but he can control his effort, focus, and mindset. So Santiago demonstrates that life's meanings comes not from control or success, but from commitment, endurance, and our presence in the struggle to experience life. So Santiago's evenings are very lovely with spending it with the young boy Manolin, and he's a very having a very lonely life. Manolin visits him daily, bringing him supper, bringing fresh baits for his fishing line, helping prepare the boat, and talking about baseball long into the evening. They both talk about their common hero, Joe DiMaggio, who was a baseball icon and who played through pain with grace and endurance. He is an icon for Santiago too. And now Manolin brings him supper of rice, black beans, stew, fried bananas, and bottled wine from the kind owner of the hotel, which they used to frequent when Santiago had successful fishing trips. So after supper, Santiago goes to sleep, wrapped in his one blanket that he has got, his trousers as his pillow, and the newspaper as his bed sheets. He wakes up when it is still dark and he wakes up the young boy. They walk together to the boat, and the boy brings him fresh coffee and fresh bait of tuna and sardines for his fishing line. He wishes him good luck on his fishing trip, and Santiago sets out to sea with a new hope and a new positivity of catching a great fish on that 85th day. So I believe Santiago teaches us to invest in what truly matters. Long term meaning comes from focusing on our deepest values, not from filling our days with endless tasks or busyness. It doesn't even build efficiency, it just creates a lot of burden. Santiago chose to spend his time the previous day preparing for his fishing trip the next day with Manolin rather than chasing activities for its own sake to appear efficient. So, my question to you, Siddharth, how do you make sure your time is invested in what truly matters to you? Please share your reflection on this.
Wow, I can smell that fresh coffee here itself. So, yes, I can imagine what Santiago is talking about because when I wake up in the morning, I consider as a new day. I see the rising sun and it freshens me up. I feel whatever I have to do today will be specific to my likings. And that is how I start today. So it is a fresh start, and I have mostly three tasks for the day, and that is my biggest goals. Like these three things I have to do in on my by the end of the day, and then when I am done with it, I feel that I should journal it. That's how I close my day, and that's how I feel the accomplishment of finishing a day, with meaning and purpose. But many a times when uh, we are in situations where suddenly certain things come up, then it becomes little difficult to even manage the three things which we planned for. So I had those kind of scenarios as well. But then I do journal at the end of the day so that I know that there is something which is pending and that will get carry forwarded. I don't worry about it a lot, but then I just keep that in my tracking. That's how I keep it simple and efficient.
So nice insight and very nice habit of journaling. Definitely, that is inspiring. And I have also a life experience to share. Like I was, traveling on a holiday with my family, and I was returning from Yungthang to Gangtok. We faced an landslide, and that was caused due to heavy rains, and we were stuck there for 3 4 hours. Okay, and yes, it was a little frustrating, but there was no other option than to be stuck in that road, and you can't go anywhere because it's a hilly area. It's a slope down below. So all our plans to reach early and have a comfortable dinner and sleep on time. Next day we had some other plan that was shattered, and our efficient travel plan and schedule was gone for a toss. And yes, it created little stress because it was not planned. Nature intervened. Landslide happened. Nothing to do. List like Santiago's careful skill couldn't control the sea, and our plan couldn't prevent the landslide. So what life taught me was like, we can make efforts, but that doesn't guarantee outcome. What we can do is accept life and its unpredictability the way it is, and be flexible, and that's the only way to find peace. And yes, at the end of the journey, we reached very late with listening music over the road. It was haunting dark, and we managed to eat only bread omelette at the end because everything was closed, and somehow that hotel manager managed to prepare bread and omelette for us at dinner, and we quietly had and slept that day, realizing that some things are totally beyond our planning. So yes, that's life. Be flexible. Over to you, Sujata, for the insights from the book Oliver Brookman's 4,000 Weeks.
Thank you, Shrikapa and Siddharth. Both your incidents, they relate so well with both these books, which seem very different, but when you read them side by side, something begins to shift. You can see a deeper rhythm which emerges, and it says, stop racing, start living. Berkman calls it the efficiency trap. And here, Berkman delivers a gentle but radical idea. We don't have to do everything, and more importantly, we can't. He invites us to stop treating life like a puzzle to be solved. Stop chasing productivity hacks to get it all done. Because the truth is, we never will. But when we embrace that limitation, when we face that we can't be fully efficient, then something surprising happens. We become freer, not more anxious. He draws from the philosopher Martin Heidegger, his idea of being towards death, which might sound morbid, but is actually very alive. It means we become truly present only when we stop postponing life for later. Now let's cross over to Hemingway. In The Old Man and the Sea, Santiago, the old fisherman, is preparing for the sea. But it's not a frantic prep. There's a quietness about it, a ritual. He sharpens his gear, eats simply, and with the boy Manolin, reflects. He isn't rushing, he isn't multitasking, he's just present. So the takeaway is face your finitude, live fully, don't fall into the efficiency trap. Berkman tells us that acknowledging our limited time helps us live more deeply. And Santiago is face your finitude, live aging, unlucky, poor, shows us that you don't need to control life to be courageous. Just commit. His dignity isn't in winning against the sea, it's in showing up fully in spite of uncertainty. So now, Jasveer, I would like to pass over to you. uh, could you please give your perspective of these two books?
Thank you, Sujata. Yes, that is very true in the corporate world, the efficiency trap. It's my own personal experience when I joined a bank as a management trainee, and I wanted to prove myself. So, I was in the credit department, and we had to analyze financials of different customers. And if, for instance, I had five customers files with me, five corporates,
that I was looking at. And I used to make it a point that if I have decided that I have to complete these files today, I'll do it. And what I would do is continuously keep working and focusing on my work, not taking any breaks. While other friends of mine, new trainees who had joined, used to take breaks for tea or something or the other. And because I was being so efficient, my manager thought that's great. I mean, I can get more work done from her. And that was getting very stressful because all my friends and all the other trainees used to land up going for lunch on time by 1:30, and I wouldn't get time to go for lunch till 3 o'clock. So it definitely is an efficiency trap. The more stress you take, and the more you try to be efficient, people realize that you're capable of it, and they start increasing your burden. It's okay for some time when there is real pressure, but otherwise, what happens? It gets monotonous, and you start losing interest. So it makes sense to keep a balance, manage life in such a way that you prioritize everything properly, and not get so overloaded with work that you don't have that work life balance, and then you don't enjoy what you're doing. So what you're giving 100% and you're trying to give 120%, after a point in time, after a few months, you'll get so bored, you'll end up giving only 60%. So might as well keep a balance in life, and enjoy as well as work hard. So that I learned the hard way. And I'm sure a lot of us have experienced something similar like that. So now I'd like to hand over to Dr. Geeta, and who will tell us more about the story from The Old Man and the Sea. Over to you, Dr. Geeta.
Thank you, Jasbir. I really love the way you described it because it resonates so much with me. The efficiency trap is so harmful. It creates monotony and drudgery of our work. But my hero in The Old Man and the Sea, he knows how to do work-life balance. He is a real poet of the sea. And this passage that I'm going to tell you all is so beautiful in its description of the ocean and the nature. So Santiago rows steadily under the dim light of the stars. It is still dark and it is absolute silence there. The only thing that could be heard is the slap of the oars as the people are rowing, the other fishermen are rowing silently in the dark. And the morning is very quiet and it keeps moving far beyond the other fishing boats, going deeper into the Gulf Stream. So the sea is generous there because you get a lot of fish there because it is so deeper into the sea. And also it is very challenging. Only the daring can venture out there. And Santiago is determined to end his streak of bad luck. But he carries no desperation, only patience, stoic patience, and belief in himself and the sea to help him out. So as the sun begins to rise, it casts a golden light across the water, and Santiago feels deeply in tune with nature. He watches the graceful arc of the flying fish, the darting movements of the small tuna fish, and the circling man of war bird overhead. And he's able to read the subtle changes in the currents, the texture of the water, and the patterns of the breeze like a seasoned fisherman. He has cast his fishing line in three places, in the exact depth of the ocean, where he knows that, one is 100 feet fathom, another one is 60 feet, another is 40 feet, etc. Every, gesture he makes is the setting of his lines, the way he baits is the hook, the angle at which he holds his hand, all this reflects a lifetime of knowledge and reverence to his fishing. He respects the birds and feels sad that some of the birds so delicate. How are they going to, survive against the harsh ocean? And there are also some robber birds there. And he thinks, they are having such a difficult time more than the humans in trying to survive and seek food. He remembers the turtles he had seen when he had traveled to Africa on a ship, and he remembers how they were clubbed to death, and their hearts would be beating even when they were, clubbed there for a long time. And he feels very sad. He loves those turtles. Now, we must remember that we experience everything happening in the ocean through the Santiago's reflections. Like we are, perceiving Santiago's experiences through those turtle thoughts. The sea to him is not an enemy, but a living companion. He calls it by feminine name, a reflection of the affirmation, the affection he holds for it, and the affirmation of his respect for it. So, I believe Santiago's life makes us reflect that even if we are not sure of any success, when we choose a meaningful project, we should approach it with care, focus, and full commitment. Santiago believes in his fishing skill, his determination to catch a great fish, and his willingness to go deeper into the waters in search of it. My question is to you, Siddharth, in any time in your life, were you determined to take on an important challenge even when you knew it would be difficult? Please share.
Absolutely. I will be really excited to share this incident. So, I have a affinity to see nature a lot, and we had gone to some place which was in San Jose, near San Jose, California, where we were supposed to see the sharks, the great, I think it was not great white shark, but there were a lot of sharks there. And, from the movies, we know sharks are very dangerous fishes. So I had this thought that I don't want to see them. I want to see them from far. But one of my friend was with me, and he wanted to do scuba diving, where they were actually going to see the shark inside the sea. And I was not really happy to be with him during that time. So I was saying you can go, but then he forced me. No, you should also see this. It's a lifetime, opportunity to watch a shark passing you. Now they were doing this with a caged. There was a cage in which we had to enter, and we were wearing the that scuba diving dress, and we were going inside. The cage was to safeguard us from the shark hitting us, but it still was so difficult. I mean, so dangerous to look at. When even think about that, we will go down and the shark will touch us, or I don't know what it will do. And we were very scared. I was very scared. And then, what happened is a young boy came out of that, whatever that event. I mean, they have typically tickets for it, and they did that event. And the kid had gone there, and kid came out. And the kid was so happy. Looking at that kid, my friend told, if the kid can do, you can also do. I was so scared, but somehow looking at the kid, really, I felt confident. And I was ready to go for it. I wore that scuba diving dress. We went inside that cage. The cage was dropped, I think it was 30 or 40 feet inside the sea. And there the sharks came around us. It was stunning. Shark touching us, like touching the cage, and its fin almost getting inside the cage. It was a lifetime opportunity to see sharks so close. I was really thrilled, and it made me never forget how uh, good beings, even sharks are. We are scared. We typically see a lot of scary movies around sharks, and that's why we have a lot of scare for them. But they are also like fishes. They are just looking for their food, and they just move around in the ocean, and it's a beautiful visual to witness. That is, I think, how I link this event with this takeaway which you were talking about. It was a scary moment for me to witness it, but then when I witnessed it, I felt like it was a lifetime opportunity which I have witnessed. So, with that, what is the takeaway from your side, Shitapa?
Oh, I can tell you one more funny incident because you have just reminded one of my funny stories. And that was amazing to know your thrilling experience to say hello to sharks. And I have just said hello to sun in another way. I am a person who do not like rides, and one of my friend pushed me to take a ride of a roller coaster. And Imagica in Mumbai is famous for that swing which goes really high, uh, and looking at it is only a disaster for me. uh, and taking a ride is something which I have never ever thought. I thought I will just witness and clap hands for them. That's where I was standing and taking. Then suddenly my friend came and said, "We have taken your ticket also. You are coming along." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I just can't take this ride." And they said, "Nothing will happen. We are there. All of us are there." It was a team outing. So entire team was there, rather entire JP Morgan team, a big team was there, and everyone was taking that ride. And my team said, "Come on, Sri, you are coming." And I just went, thinking, okay, I don't know how I will manage, but I just went because she was pushing a lot. And when I was sitting in the ride and when it took off, I thought my life is out of my body. And I was like, oh God, now it is going to go down, go down. I was thinking how to overcome that situation. And then it was totally out of my comfort zone. And I figured out that if I look up in the sky, the fear is getting lesser. So instead of seeing down, I just started looking at the sky without realizing how down I'm going and then how more up I will go. That's how I just survived that ride somehow. And when I just got down of that ride that day, I thought I've done an achievement in my life. That was the biggest, out of comfort zone. I have taken something and I've achieved how to battle my own fear after taking that ride. So yeah, that's how I can put it. Over to you, Sujata, with some more insights from the book.
Okay. Thank you, Shritapa. So, like you just narrated the story of how you overcame your fears. So, Berkman also tells the same thing, that facing our limits actually frees us to live better. So, what he says, the title of his chapter 4 is Becoming a Better Procrastinator. Now, it sounds very strange. Why does he want us to become better procrastinators? Uh, but then uh, it seems to turn everything we have learned upside down. But then he says that the desire to master time is often a disguised refusal to live, to face mortality. And he's serious. He says, forget about defeating procrastination once and for all. That's another impossible goal. Instead, learn the art of strategic neglect. Consciously choose what not to do. Give your best time and energy to what matters most and let go of the rest. He uses the phrase, pay yourself first, not in terms of money, but in time. Your most meaningful work deserves your freshest hours. And isn't that exactly what Santiago does in these pages? As Dr. Geeta has just narrated, he sets out to sea alone, silent. He remembers the turtles he had seen, the birds. He's in sync with nature. They stir something fierce and essential in him. These aren't distractions, they are the fuel. He doesn't scroll through old regrets. He doesn't get caught in small talk at the dock. He chooses, he protects his energy. And he isn't chasing many things. He's just the marlin, just the sea, just the memory of strength. He's doing what Berkman suggests. He's not trying to balance it all. He's protecting what matters. And in that, there's such beauty, such clarity. Now, Jasveer, I would just like to listen to what you have to say, what you have to add to this from your own reflections in life. Thank you.
Thank you, Sujata. While listening to what Berkman has to say, that we can't complete everything in this life, I have a hilarious example of BMC, Bombay Municipal Corporation. Every year, Mumbai has amazing rainfall, you know, and we have such awesome roads, which potholes. I'm sure my team members who've been in Mumbai during the rains, they have experienced that. So they live by this, that every year a few potholes are left unattended. There is no end to it because they feel that there's a lot of time, they can procrastinate, and the next year they will fix those potholes, and by then there are many more new potholes. So this goes on for life, and they are a living example of what Berkman is trying to teach us. that we have a lot of time in hand. We can procrastinate and not get overwhelmed by the pressure of work. And I mean, jokes aside, the idea is that everything cannot be done in a day because Rome was not built in a day. So definitely, reasonable planning with a balance of everything makes sense. And that's exactly what he is trying to tell us. And yes, I mean, in pun intended, this is what happens in a city like Mumbai, which faced such a horrible situation on 26 July 2005, when the whole city had come to a standstill, when with the rains and the potholes and people losing their lives. So that was a drastic situation that came up. But yes, we have to take every day as it comes and keep a balance of things. That's exactly what I learn, and I believe it makes sense to follow that. So, yeah, over to you, Shritapa. Uh,
Thank you, Jasveer, for that realistic example from Mumbai. And I cannot laugh more because having lived there for 15 years, I can absolutely relate to you. And yeah, we have time like our BMC has. Let's not stress, guys. I'm sure you must have laughed a lot today with some really good insights from life. And before we wrap up, here are two key takeaways from us that no matter how much we plan, life has its own plan, just like Santiago's fighting in sea and trying to control time. Takeaway two is like fighting the right. So Santiago's battle reminds us that nature and time do not wait for anyone. So instead of chasing control, maybe it's better to flow with life and make the most of the moments we have. With this, take care until we meet in the next BWB session. Bye bye, Tata, take care. And do not forget to like, share, subscribe.